Hi everyone! So as you can see in the title at the bottom, this is what I look like. Face reveal. Oh, face reveal. So yeah, this is what I look like, and this is gonna be hopefully a new norm on my channel. I wanted to try something a little bit different, be a little bit more expressive, and kind of do this full body overview for just general overview and stuff like that, and then go back to the workbench when we want to talk about something more close up and more in detail. So I thought it would add some more variety to the video. And also you can see I'm moving around a lot because I'm nervous. My channel's also really been self-improvement exercise for myself, and also just getting used to hearing my own voice, getting used to seeing myself just like in the mirror, or I guess in this case on camera. So it's kind of a self-improvement exercise for myself as well. So a lot of factors, but yeah, be nice in the comments please. I did not have a good day today, and getting right off into it, I thought I'd talk about some updates in my RC hobby in this past week. I don't know if you guys want this to be like a regular thing. I don't know if I can promise that, but I will post updates here and there. But starting off, let's start with this thing over here. And it's dripping with water because I just had it outside in the snow. This is my TTO2 quad track, land breeder quad track. And I still thank Rex a lot for turning me on to this truck. I'm going to mention Rex a couple times in my video today, but really love this truck. It's become one of my favorite trucks that I own. And TTO2 chassis has a few problems, but overall it's pretty capable and a lot of fun to drive, especially in the snow. But speaking of the problems, I don't know if you guys saw my most recent running video of this, but at the very end you saw how sizzly and how hot the motor got. And it, as I expected, today the motor exploded. It blew up. It smells really bad in here. If you guys have ever blown up a brushed motor, you guys know how bad it smells when all the magic smoke gets released. But I do have this axial 35 turn that I'll throw in it, so hopefully that'll fix some of the issues with gearing and overheating and stuff. I should also add a fan to it. That's probably also a good idea. That's something I'll probably do as well. Speaking of the quad track, another car that I'm really interested in is the GF01 FT, which is a quad track version of the GF01. And I've had a few GF1s before. I do really like the chassis. It's a fun little car. But like the TTO2 quad track, it was another car that when I first saw it, my initial impressions were, why? Why would you release the tracks on this chassis instead of, I don't know, like the CC2 chassis or something? So I was a little bit confused, but compared to this TTO2, I think it is going to be a better off-road chassis because one, it's already an off-road chassis unlike the TTO1 and TTO2, and two, it has really low gearing already because it's originally a wheelie car, so that should help some problems. Also, the motor is exposed. It's on the outside of the car, so that helps with cooling as well. So that's gonna fix a lot of problems and performance issues that the TTO2 quad track has. So really excited to get that as part of my collection at some point, but it is a little bit expensive like the other quad track vehicles, so kind of waiting for a good deal to pop up on Tower Hobbies or something to pick one of those up. But once I have one, it should be really fun. So speaking of Tower Hobbies, I actually had the new Losi Mini JRXT pre-ordered. As soon as they announced it, I had one pre-ordered, and apparently, according to FedEx, it was delivered on Wednesday, which as of recording this video was 2 days ago. They even have a photo of it supposedly on my front door but I live in an apartment, so all the doors look identical. So either they delivered it to the wrong apartment, or someone stole my package because it's gone, it's missing. Apparently it was delivered on Wednesday. I did not see it on Wednesday, so we'll have to see what Tower Hobby says. I was really excited for this and just really bummed that if someone took it, that sucks. Well, that's just not nice. And then if it was delivered to the wrong address and it just lost, that also sucks because this is a limited edition and they probably can't send me a new one. So, which is really unfortunate. I've had this mini JRXT for a while and it's a really fun buggy, and I thought it'd be really cool to have it in a truck version, be a little bit more capable as well. But I guess the universe did not align for me to have the JRXT. So worst case scenario, I don't get the truck, I get nothing, and that would suck really bad. Hopefully I can get at least a refund for it, but that sucks that if someone took it, that's part of the reason I didn't have a good day today, because I found out that it was supposedly delivered and it's not here, so that sucks. Moving on to some cars that I recently had added to my collection, that I was actually able to get. You can see this is a Traxxas TRX Ford, and it's a pretty old truck at this point. It's been out for a very long time, and I've really wanted one ever since the Defender came out, because I'm a really big fan of Defenders. And this has the remote locking diffs, the 2-speed transmission and stuff, which was pretty revolutionary at the time. I really wanted one, but I couldn't justify the price of it, $500 for a car. So couldn't justify the price for it at the time. And then as time went on, other things came up, other cars came up, so never really got around to getting it. But recently at my local hobby shop, this one popped up for only $300, which is a really good deal because it's in very good condition, pretty much new condition. It has a lot of really cool parts in it, like the rigid light bar, full LED light kit, metal front bumper, diamond plate on the side rails, beadlock wheels, pit bull tires, a lot of cool stuff on here. I won't do a separate video just on this, but really excited to get this thing running. And first of all, just paint the body, because I think this is gonna look really cool in a blue with a white roof, or maybe even like an army, like the British racing green with the white roof or something. So can't wait to really dive into this thing. The only thing I've really done so far is add the mud flaps and the aluminum skid plate at the bottom. Eventually I do want to get the straight axle conversion for this, because I'm not a big fan of portal axles, just because most trucks don't really have portal axles, and I actually like the added challenge of a straight axle. So those are some plans I have for it eventually, but for now, let's move on to the next car. So while we're on the topic of Defenders, this is a CC2, Tamiya CC2 Defender, and I've had a CC2 before, made it into the YJ, ended up getting rid of it, but then after I got rid of it, Tamiya released this guy, the Defender body, and pre-painted in light blue. They were begging me to buy it, so I had to get it. So got one, made a couple changes to the body, like the whole body is painted in matte clear, the fenders in black, the hood in black, or at least this hood insert in black. Blacked out the windows because there's a light kit going through here. I didn't want the wires and stuff to show up, so blacked out the windows. Added this separate plastic bumper piece so I can add mud flaps, and then cut out the front bumper, and then I'm using an Amazon front bumper, the Defender style that a lot of people use on their like Grande 2s. It's actually on my RC 4-wheel drive Grande 2 body. People also use it for the TRX Ford Defenders, so nice little bumper. And I really like this one because it gives me a really fun feel of driving like a real Defender. Pretty scale driving characteristics. It's not gonna be a cop crawler or anything. But it's really fun to like get this thing on the rocks, and it just looks really cool. Looks really realistic. I think it drives pretty realistic as well. And even though the proportions of it look a little bit strange, wheelbase wise, this is actually more close to 10th scale because the D90 is called the D90 because it has a 90mm wheelbase, and this is pretty much a 9-inch wheelbase. 9, 90, 10th scale. You get the point. So that also kind of helps me enjoy it a little bit more as well. And a lot of the other Defenders you see, RC Defenders you see, other than the RC 4-wheel drive one, of course, tend to be of like really modified Defenders. Like the TRX 4 has huge fender flares on it. This is a pretty stock looking Defender, so I think it's fun for that reason as well. Lexan body, of course, not going to be as detailed as the RC 4-wheel drive one, but nevertheless, I enjoy this truck quite a lot. Next, we have another CC02. Yes, I know, I just showed you guys a CC02, but it's such a cool truck, I had to get another one. This one is the Unimog version, also pre-painted. Also, side note, I'm loving these pre-painted bodies that Tamiya is doing because my least favorite part about RC building is painting. I hate painting. Even though I do a lot of painting, I don't like to paint. So it's really nice when at least the majority of the painting can be done from factory and all I have to do is just add some details and stuff. So, got the pre-painted version. I added the Proline Grunt tires on here, which I think will look, 1, really scale for the Unimog, 2, add some performance, and 3, just not using those garbage Tamiya tires. I don't know why Tamiya even bothers including those tires with the CC02 and the CC01. It's dumb. It's dumb. But these should make it at least drivable. I have the Axle 35 turn motor in there. I had to get a separate Hobbywing ESC because the Unimog version still comes with the Tamiya ESC. Yeah. I have special plans for the Unimog body, which is why it's not finished yet. But once it's done, I think it's gonna look really cool. So I'm really excited to get this thing finished. Another project I have to finish is, of course, my Initial D Shingo EG Civic drift car. Chassis is done. It's all running. I even tested it out. Body's painted. It just needs decals. I don't know why I can't bring myself to sit down and put these decals on, but I've just been procrastinating on it. So that's gonna get done. And over here, it's actually a new car. And this is actually one of the benefits of becoming more confident and more comfortable with myself, is I'm actually able to go out in public and do this crazy thing called talk to people. I know, there's apparently people that live outside my apartment and like other people that I can talk to. Crazy, right? Anyway, met a friend at the local hobby shop where I run my Mini Z's and some on-road cars, and he gave me a really good deal on this Mo7 Concept. Includes like a whole box full of wheels and tires because he's a racer. He's very finicky about his tires, but they're all like pretty good condition tires. So have plenty of tires for this. Gave me 2 bodies, this Mazda body, and then this Alfa Romeo body. This ugly car. It's the concept version, so of course it has a lot of different upgrades on it. You can see some of the pretty aluminum hop-ups and stuff through there. I forget what motor I threw in this. I believe it's a 20 turn. I think I threw an HPI 20 turn brushed motor in here. And then the suspension, wheel, the weight bias setup and everything is all done by him, and he set it up for that track that I run at. So this thing runs amazingly on that track. I love driving this thing. I do annoy the other people on the track because I'm not very good at driving on-road track yet, but it's just so much fun to drive, and really excited to get more miles on this, maybe put a different body on it, and just gonna mess around with this one a little bit more. And speaking of that same guy, I was driving my mini Z's, a lot of mini Z's around the track. He walks up to me and says, "Hey, do you want an FF03?" And I was like, "Cool, he's gonna give me another cool, really good deal on a FF03. I have an FF03. I have two actually. I have this one in the CRZ. Love my FF03. I think it's one of the best front-wheel drive cars that Tamiya makes. So really like the FF03. So I was very interested, and he gave it to me for an amazing price of $0. Zero. No money. Free. And it's not even like the regular FF03. It's like, I forget which one he said it was, like the R or something. One of the chassis kits with all the hop-ups. This is another one he tuned up for that track, and includes the ESC, receiver, basically everything it needed to run. The only thing it was missing are wheels and tires, which I put some sweeps on here. And it doesn't have the shocks included because he is running those on a different car he has, so I do need to find some shocks for this, and of course a body. I need to get a body for this, but once everything is put on here, I think it's gonna be another awesome car to run on the track. So really excited to get this thing finished and get some miles on this one as well. So I'll talk about a few more cars and kind of wrap up this video. This is what I want to talk about. This is my Gmade R1 rock buggy. I did a full review on this. If you're interested in this truck, you can check that out on my channel. But the main thing I mentioned, and one thing I mentioned in the review, is that the lower links are not triangulated on the R1. They're mounted on the outside, which makes the axle really sloppy and makes it kind of hard to drive at certain angles, just because the axles just kind of move around independently from the truck. And I fixed that by triangulating the lower links. So like I mentioned in that review, you used to be able to get a June Fog aftermarket part that would do this for you, as well as flatten out the skid, but that part is no longer available. You can also 3D print them online, but this is free, and it's free. That's all you really gotta say. So it's not a perfect solution, but basically just cut out a couple things, shift a couple things around, add a couple different screws in there, and you can get this thing done basically for free. I will do a full separate video on how I did this, but essentially triangulated now. Axles are much more stable, so drives a bit nicer. Also, these 2.2 HYRX tires, absolute weapons on this thing. Makes it crawl super well, even in like super snowy rocks. It just grips. I love these tires. Like, I thought people were hyping them up too much, but I really see why these tires are so popular. They're actually really nice tires. You can also see a minor thing I did. Painted the beadlock ring silver, just thought it looked cool. So one major thing that I want to change is add a driver figure. Figure out a way to get some sort of driver in here, so give it a little bit more of a scale look. But so far, really enjoying my R1. One of those RCs where from the moment I built it and put it on the rocks. One that I really don't regret getting, and another one that's like I'm kind of mad I didn't get sooner. Speaking of cars I'm mad that I didn't get sooner is this thing. This is the Wild One Blockhead Motors. I actually really wanted this thing ever since it was announced, but they basically sold out instantly and they were unavailable for a long while. So the best I could do was watch Rex drive his. So thank you, Rex, for providing all that fun content. But now I finally have my own to enjoy, and I have to say the build was really fun. The build was super easy, really fun, and it drives like a cloud. It drives really well. It looks super scale, looks really nice, and it just drives really well. I have been planning on getting rid of my Super Hornet and my Hornet, and this kind of justifies it because they're both retro looking, but this is a little bit more scale. It drives nicer, so I think this is just gonna have to win out. But yeah, I will be getting rid of my Super Hornet along with a lot of cars. I've already gotten rid of a lot of my cars. You can see some empty space up here, empty space on those two other shelves that are off camera. But I've been getting rid of a lot of cars for a few reasons. I have been more comfortable, more confident in myself. So I actually go out, like I told you about, I actually go out and like hang out with people, hang out with friends more and stuff. And that usually requires some extra spending money for like social events, like going out to eat, going out to do things. So wanted a little bit more breathing room for that kind of stuff. I also have, since September-ish, I've had a new car that I've been like kind of putting money into, so need some breathing room for that. Also, a lot of cool new releases that I'm really excited for, like the CC2 FJ40, the Tamiya BBX, the Losi JRXT, if I actually received it, GF01 FT, just a bunch of cars that, as always, that the RC industry turns out that I'm a sucker for and I really want. So a bunch of factors that I want a little bit more breathing room and a little bit more spending money for. So a lot of cars that just end up sitting, I've started getting rid of, which is why the Hornet's gonna be leaving. Probably Super Hornet's gonna be leaving. I had a new in-box Super Hornet as well that just sold instantly because it's a brand new Super Hornet. So that is what is happening at the moment, and the goal is to have like a max of 20 cars, maybe 25 at the absolute max, 25. And you could probably say, yeah, 25 is still a lot of cars, but when I started the Purge, I started with 72 RC cars, which some might even call a problem, and it's way too many cars. I did not drive most of them. It was, at least at that point, I was basically being a hoarder, an RC hoarder. So I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I'm down to around maybe 30 something cars at this point. So slowly getting there, but yeah. Some of these are gonna go. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hopefully my ugly mug didn't bother too many people. And hopefully you guys like the new setup. This is, like I said, what I'm kind of planning on doing for the channel in the future. So tell me what you guys thought in the comments. If I should continue this style or if I should stay behind the camera and just stay focused on the workbench. Just kind of curious to see what you guys think. But that is it for now. And as always, I hope everyone has a great day and have fun with RC.